Yeah, that's right. Lou and Mark, good afternoon to you here. This is commonly referred to as Kaiser Downey here. It's right at the intersection of Bellflower and Imperial Highway. That's going to be the kind of the southeast corner of the campus here, Kaiser Downey, and that is where the activity is taking place here. Now, if you look at the building there, that's going to be Building A. The call came out just about 25 minutes ago here, so just before 12 o'clock this afternoon here. A report of an active shooter now. I have spoken to the sheriff's helicopter overhead. There are no confirmed reports that shots have in fact been fired. We can tell you that there is a suspect who has been taken into custody here. No more beyond that, but no confirmed shots fired and no confirmed victims by that, but they are, as a precaution, evacuating Building A, and that's what you're seeing here. Rich Prickett, our Sky5 photographer, showing you all of the people who are exiting Building A, and they are being led over to the east side of the intersection there, over towards the Jack in the Box here, and those are the people who are inside of Building A. A report of an active shooter here, no confirmed shots fired and no confirmed victims right now. They are strictly just evacuating and in the process of clearing the buildings here. Downey Police Department on scene as well as an assist with by the LA County Sheriff's Department here. Again, Building A here on the northwest corner of Bellflower and Imperial Highway is where this is taking place. Look at the tremendous LA County Sheriff's Department as well as Downey PD presence right there in the intersection here. We have well in excess of 30 plus vehicles surrounding the facility here, and again, teams inside of the building already in the process of clearing Building A here. So again, no confirmed reports of shots fired or victims or anything like that. That's what they're trying to sort through right now, but a report of an active shooter is what set this all into motion here. The Downey Police Department, again, with an assist from the LA County Sheriff's Department here. So that is what brings us here. We are in the process of watching the people being evacuated, led out of the building there. That's going to be Building A, again, the northwest corner of Bellflower and Imperial Highway. They're being taken across the street over towards the Jack in the Box, and that is going to be kind of the staging area where they start interviewing the people as they come onto the scene here. But again, no confirmed reports of shots fired, no confirmed victims at this point. It's still a very fluid situation at this point. Again, a call coming out just before 12 o'clock here, guys. That is the update from overhead in Sky 5 HD. Let me send it back down to you in Hollywood. Yeah, you bet. Doctors, nurses, administrative staff, as well as potential patients who are in Building A, all being led out of the building there. And there is just several large groups of people, clusters of people here that are kind of filing out of the building here. They are basically, we're on the south side of the building looking north. So they are exiting the southern exit of the Kaiser Downey facility here. And again, Building A is going to be kind of the southeastern corner of the campus here. So a building that is kind of detached from the main part of the hospital, as you can see as Rich Prickett, our Sky5 photographer, opens up to the wider shot. That is the facility here, and Building A is going to be closest to us, again, on the southeast corner of the facility here. Again, Kaiser Downey is where this is taking place. Clusters of people are coming out of Building A as Building A is being evacuated after reports of an active shooter here. Again, I want to reiterate here, I have been told that there are no confirmation of shots fired or no confirmation of victims down, and that is what they are trying to assess at this point. The Downey Police Department as well as the LA County Sheriff's Department both have teams in the buildings here, and they are combing through the buildings floor by floor, room by room, trying to clear the potential threat here. So that is what is taking place at this point here. But part of that is going to be to evacuate the buildings, and that's what we're seeing right now, the process of getting everyone out of the facility here. So this is happening right at the intersection of Imperial Highway and Bellflower Boulevard, major thoroughfares in both directions coming through Downey at this point here, and that intersection is going to be tied up at least for the next little bit here. I've got you, thanks. They're going to be here for the next several potential minutes, even longer than that, as they work to clear this situation here at Kaiser Downey. Guys? Okay, no, I've got you there. Okay. Well, right now, in speaking to the sheriff's deputies in the helicopter above, as well as listening to some of the scanner traffic here, according to that, they do have one suspect who is in custody here, and that we presume is the suspect who was at the center of this call here. But we have not actually seen the suspect. He's in one of the patrol cars over here at the intersection. But again, only one suspect from what we can tell. But again, Lou, as you mentioned, kind of the body language of the people here is generally one of relaxation here, and that is potentially certainly some good news here as they just kind of in a very kind of an orderly way make their way out of the building there. And there you can see hospital staff coming out of the building still. Again, this is a pretty big building here. From my count, I can see at least three floors, three-story building here, and that is going to potentially house a lot of people here. So all these people coming out of the building here, they're being led through the parking lot, and again, over across the street over to the Jack in the Box, and that is going to be the staging area for all of these people as they file out of Building A. But only one suspect from what we understand at this point, both from radio traffic as well as from our information from the helicopter overhead. So out of an abundance of caution, however, they are still going to, again, methodically, room by room, floor by floor, clear the building as they need to. Guys? I've got you there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I thought you had him a minute ago. Okay. You're doing great, dude. Yeah, Bellflower and Imperial Highway, if we could kind of center on the intersection there, okay. Imperial Highway is kind of running left to right across the screen, and Bellflower runs north to south, up and down through the middle of the screen there. So if you look to the top left, that's going to be the northwest corner of Bellflower and Imperial Highway, and that's going to be where Building A is. And of course, that is the center of the activity there. A lot of police department as well as a lot of sheriff's department vehicles here filling up the scene here. In fact, parts of both streets are going to be shut down here. Generally, if you're in the area here, you're going to want to stay away from this intersection. Although it's not completely shut down, it might as well be just because of all the activity taking place. So again, if you don't need to be here, then stay away from this particular intersection. That's Bellflower and Imperial Highway. Technically speaking, I mean, northbound Imperial Highway to eastbound Bellflower is open, and that's what you're seeing there. All those cars making the right turn, but from what I can gather at this point, that's the only direction that is available to you. So unless you need to go in that direction, everything else is going to be shut down. But your best bet just to stay away from this intersection, at least for the time being, until the Downey Police Department, as well as the LA County Sheriff's Department, can actually clear the building and render this code 4. In other words, all systems safe, everything's safe, guys. No, and that goes to the point, well, so far no confirmed shots fired, no confirmed victims down, and that is certainly some good news here. We do have fire department, they are staging along, let's see here, Bellflower just to the north. So if you tilt up just a little bit here, we can actually see some of the fire department that's staging should the need arise for medical attention here. So that's where they are. Of course, they are at a hospital facility, so hopefully that makes things a little bit easier should the need arise. But again, no confirmed reports of people down, but that is all part of the process of why the LA County Sheriff's Department, as well as the Downey Police Department, is on scene. That's why they are helping to clear the buildings here and making sure that there are no victims, there are no additional suspects, as you mentioned. But again, it's all part of the process of going floor to floor, room to room, and clearing the building. That's right, and the call came out a little bit before 12 o'clock, so somewhere between 12:50 and 12:55 from what we were listening to over the radios here, but somewhere in that time frame, 10 minutes to 12, somewhere in that window of time, a report of an active shooter here, or a possible active shooter here. So we were trying to listen to find out exactly what was going on, but anyways, we jumped in the helicopter, came down here, and again, in speaking to the folks in Sheriff's, there's 7, the helicopter overhead. They do have 1 suspect in custody. No confirmed shots fired, no confirmed victims down, but again, a very fluid situation as they continue to work to clear the situation, to clear the building, Building A here, over on the northwest corner of Bellflower and Imperial Highway. Guys? Still unclear at this time, guys. We're trying to get that information. Still very preliminary at this point here, but again, yeah, no word on gender or age of the person in custody at this point. Rich. Yeah, definitely. Although they have kind of moved off of the intersection for the most part and moved over towards the side along Imperial Highway and along Bellflower Boulevard here. Again, this is going to be the southern corner. This is going to be Imperial Highway just on the south side of the complex here, the Kaiser Downey complex, and that's going to be Building A, where it appears that most of the people are now out of the building and have made their way across the street over to the east side of Bellflower, over towards the Jack in the Box there. And again, that's where they were going to be staging. Just something to add here, a new bit of information. I did speak to Sheriff Sarah 7 just a moment ago, and he tells me that they believe it was a male suspect here. That goes to the question that Lou had, whether it was a male or a female, but we understand now that it was a male suspect who has now been taken into custody here. Again, a report of an active shooter, however, no confirmation of any shots fired, no confirmation of any victims down here. But to your question about how many law enforcement personnel are on scene here, if we go to a slightly wider shot, again, that's going to be Imperial Highway moving from west over towards the east, over to Bellflower Boulevard, and that's kind of the scene that we're dealing with right now. Again, a lot of fire department personnel, a lot of sheriff's department personnel, as well as a lot of Downey Police Department personnel who are on scene. They literally have the place surrounded here, and they are, again, methodically working room by room, floor by floor, just to clear up Building A here of any potential threat that this suspect might have brought to bear here. So that includes the possibility of a second suspect or more. But again, they don't believe at this point that there is anyone else. But out of an abundance of caution here, again, they do want to clear each building, each floor, each room to render it safe before allowing anyone back into the facility, guys. It's hard to tell here, but this is going to be Building A. If we widen out the shot just a little bit here, just to a medium shot and move to the left one building over, that's going to be the parking structure here. And that, from what I can see, is unaffected at this point. All the activity is kind of over to the right, over towards Building A, and that is, from what I can tell at this point, strictly a medical facility. And that's going to be on the northwest corner of Bellflower and Imperial Highway. That's Building A. Building B is just north of it, on the north side of that building, and it looks like there's a corridor kind of between them. But again, there were many officers staging between Building A and Building B, but the activity, of course, centered around this particular building. That is Building A, and you can kind of see that in red and white just over to the right side of the screen. But again, you can see, as we zoom in, you can see the presence of Downey PD as well as the LA County Sheriff's Department as they continue to methodically clear Building A here at the Kaiser Downey facility. No, I think the situation being a little bit too fluid at this point here. We have officers all around the facility here. It's going to be a little bit tough to kind of narrow down a vehicle or a search for a vehicle. However, that might come into play at some point. I think right now the focus, the attention right here is to figure out who the suspect is and figure out what is going on in the building here and clear the building methodically here. But I don't know that they have a vehicle narrowed down yet. That's going to make a right on orbit. I would guess so, but you know, the presence of no crime scene tape, you know, I think the call came from within the building itself, and so that might be an indicator. But you know, in this case, I think it's safe to say that the LA County Sheriff's Department, as well as the police department surrounding the building on the outside, is somewhat of a crime scene tape, if you will. But we're just kind of making our way around the building here. From the west side over to the north, we're going to make kind of a right-hand orbit around it just to see if there's any more activity that's visible from this vantage point here. But again, they do essentially have the buildings A and B surrounded, and that's what you're looking at there. This is going to be the view of Building A from kind of the northwest side. Building B is over to the left. But again, just to give you a different vantage point here, we're going to make an orbit here and just be able to show you a little bit more than just the view from the south side there. But again, they are still working to clear Building A and just to make sure that the scene is safe. Rich. For what? Yeah, guys, you're looking at Building A. This is not the parking structure. This is, again, what we're looking at here, the primary kind of center of attention here. This is going to be the south side of Building A. So that is what you're looking at there. People still kind of filing out of the building here as they are being allowed to leave the building and go over to the staging area just on the east side of Bellflower Boulevard here. So that's kind of what you're seeing. There's Building A. If you look just to the right of the right center there, you can see A clearly marked in white and red. But again, that's what you're seeing here. This, from what I can tell, is either a 3 or 4 story building. And so it obviously would take a little bit of time to clear everyone out of the building here, especially as they are greeted by the LA County Sheriff's Department as well as the Downey PD here. So the procedures inside still unknown at this time, but again, people are coming out, hands up, and look at that. That is going to be the safest possible stance and posture as they approach Sheriff's deputies and Police Department personnel here. And again, as they leave the building, they're going to file out and head through the parking lot and make their way over to the Jack in the Box, and that is going to be the staging area where all of these people from the evacuated Building A are being staged, and that's right across the street from the complex here. So again, this is going to be Building A. The parking structure, again, unaffected by any activity that we can tell at this time. The parking structure is a little bit to the left, and Building B is going to be, so if we look at the parking structure, that's going to be to the left. Again, unaffected from what we can tell at this time. Building B is going to be due north. In fact, it looks to be connected by some kind of a corridor here, and we understand that they may start heading into Building B at some point here. Whether Building B is directly affected, we just don't know at this point, but perhaps out of an abundance of caution here, they may in fact clear Building B as well. But right now, their focus is on this building right here, Building A. Guys? What's that? I didn't hear it. So the suspect, what was the second half of what you said? Okay, thank you. What is that big van moving through right to left? Sheriff's Department, okay. Ah, you know, I don't. Okay. What people are they? Investigators? Okay. Yeah, that's okay. What's that? Share 7 TB5, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Share 7, where are they leaving this? They just still clearing the building? Sounds good. They're going to go to B next? Oh, okay. Thank you. Take care. They've released the helicopter. It's kind of a tough shot to stay focused on for so long. I know, look, you know, we got plenty of that. The people walking to the north there, over on the north side of the building. Okay. No injuries. Yeah, it's fine. They might be going over to the park. If you hop over the tree, there they go. Um, basically the people who are walking north, are they going to the parking lot? Like, well, no, because they'd be in the structure. Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah, we're always ready. Yeah, Mark and Lou, have a look at the current situation here, and as far as I can tell, the last people who were leaving the building here was just a few minutes ago. Although, having said that, there might still be some employees, some doctors, some nurses, some administrative staff, perhaps even some patients that might still be in the building here. But the last people that we saw exiting was just about 5 to 10 minutes ago here. Now, of course, we are on the northwest corner of Imperial Highway and Bellflower, over on the Kaiser Downey facility here, where just before 12 o'clock, so a little over an hour ago, a report of a possible active shooter. Now, Sky 5 HD was first overhead, and in speaking to the sheriff's helicopter that was already here at the time, in terms of law enforcement, he was able to relay to me that one male suspect was in custody, but there was no confirmation of any shots fired. And in fact, we do now understand that there is confirmation that there are no injuries. So that is certainly some good news here. Out of an abundance of caution, the Downey Police Department, with an assist from the LA County Sheriff's Department, have and are continuing the process of clearing Building A. Now, from what we understand here, the police only saw the suspect in Building A, and that suspect, again, is in custody at this time here. That's going to be Building A that you are looking at right there. There was some speculation that since Building A is also connected to Building B via a corridor here, that they might, in fact, have to clear Building B as well. But right now, the focus, of course, is still on Building A, where teams of Downey police officers and LA County Sheriff's Department deputies are inside the building, and they are clearing Building A room by room, floor by floor, just to make sure everything is able to be rendered safe at some point this afternoon here. Now, as we widen out the shot here, you know, during the course of the last nearly hour or so, we have seen people filing out of Building A, and they are being taken over to the Jack in the Box here over on the east side of the street, and that's where Chip Yost is based now. That was the staging area for, well, quite a bit of time here, nearly 45 minutes before we saw that large group of people walking northbound here. Now, at last sight, they were walking northbound past Independence Park, past the public storage, and perhaps they have been released. I don't know whether they were released or moving to a different area at this point here, but I can tell you that that large group of people have basically, for the most part, left that Jack in the Box, which is right there over on the east side of Imperial Highway and Bellflower here. But there is still a very large presence of Downey PD and LA County Sheriff's Department here in the intersection. In fact, this intersection is mostly shut down at this point for this activity here. Some good news, however, again, the confirmation that no one has been injured as a result of this report of an active shooter here at the Kaiser Downey facility here in Downey. Guys, let me send it back down to you. Yeah, definitely. Certainly some progress being made here. Teams are searching the building here just to make sure that there is nothing that might pose a threat to employees and patients as they make their way back in the building at some point, hopefully this afternoon. But again, by our last estimate here of about 10 minutes ago here, they were mostly, I'm talking about the employees, mostly leaving that Jack in the Box, kind of walking northbound along Bellflower Boulevard, past Independence Park, past the public storage, and perhaps being released at that point. No confirmation of that, but they sure seem to be walking fairly casually at that point, just kind of walking northbound away from the scene here. But this is where the activity has been centered for over an hour at this point. Building A of the Kaiser Downey Bellflower, the Kaiser Downey facility here, which is at the intersection of Bellflower and Imperial Highway. This building, if we widen out the shot, is going to be kind of the southeastern corner of the Kaiser Downey campus. And as Rich Prickett, our Sky 5 photographer, widens out the shot, that's what it looks like. That's the campus. It's a pretty big place here. So again, way over on the bottom right, that's going to be the southeastern corner. Building A, which was the center of attention here, again, for a little over an hour at this point, a report of an active shooter. But again, that person has been taken into custody, a male in this case, from what we understand here. And no reports of actual shots fired. And certainly we understand with confirmation at this point that no one has been injured. Certainly some good news there. I don't know. Okay. Could be. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Gotcha, Adam. All right, brother. I'll see you later. Okay. Okay. That's going to be one of the upper floors, right? That looks like third floor, perhaps. Yeah, that's going to be third floor. Okay. Can you go back to that car that you were looking at earlier, just real quick, and then, yeah, I've got you. Okay. Yeah. What is it, brother? Yeah. Hey, Jen, go ahead. What's up? What's up? Northbound Bellflower from Imperial. Northbound Bellflower from Imperial. They're going towards Independence Park, but they'll probably continue north. I don't see him, but yeah, I believe he's on Bellflower. If he's with the crowd going northbound, yeah, definitely Bellflower. Okay, cool. Okay, Independence Park. We'll get there. We'll get there. Sure. Five's going to make a slow right-hand orbit. Pollard, I'll be behind you, and 11, I got you coming around. Yo. Yo. Yeah, I know, right? Good to hear you, man. We are indeed. Mark and Lou, good afternoon again. Here we go. This is the group of people that have been coming out of Building A over the course of the past half an hour, hour and a half, I should say here. Now, this is going to be Independence Park. Independence Park is 1 block north along Bellflower from Imperial I think so. Here we go, guys. Independence Park here on the north side of the intersection of Bellflower and Imperial Highway, and this appears to be where a fair amount of the people have been kind of moving over towards. It looks like they have some easy ups set up, perhaps some food or refreshment at this point here, but this is going to be Independence Park just on the north side of the tennis courts, and this is where it appears that they are now staging all of the folks, all of the employees, all of the administrative staff, all of the doctors, nurses who have been coming out of Building A just about a block away here. So this is kind of where they are now staging. If they need to stay here to be interviewed or not, I don't know at this point. But they have been walking northbound up here towards Independence Park in big groups over the course of the past, say, 45 minutes or so. So this is where they are, Independence Park, just on the north side of the tennis courts. If anyone wants to know where their loved ones are, this is perhaps where they are, but a likely situation where they are already communicating with them. The good news here is that no injuries to report at this time here. Let's move over to the actual building here, the actual campus of Kaiser Downey, and it's just about a block away. So there's the proximity shot. We just crossed the street, crossed the boulevard, and that's going to be Building A at the top of the screen and Building B at the bottom of the screen, where the call came out just before 12 o'clock this afternoon. A possible active shooter type situation here. The Downey Police Department, with an assist from the LA County Sheriff's Department, were able to detain one male suspect. That suspect obviously is in custody at this point. No confirmation of any actual shots fired, but there is confirmation that no one was injured, so that is certainly some good news here. So that is going to be what we are looking at there, the intersection of Imperial Highway running left to right and Bellflower Boulevard running kind of north to south there. So that Kaiser Downey Building A is just to the right of the screen here coming into view, and that is going to be the focus of attention. Now, just about 5 to 10 minutes ago, while we were talking to Chip Yost, we did see a lot of people filing out of Building A, and probably something in the neighborhood of 2 or 3 dozen people at the very least that were coming down from the third floor. So we surmise at this point that the police officers, as well as the Sheriff's Department, is now on the third floor working to methodically clear room to room, floor to floor here. And those people coming down from the third floor nearly an hour and a half after the incident began here is a sign to us that they had been up in that third floor for a better part of that time here. So now the third floor is in the process of being searched is what we gather at this point. That's going to be Building A. Building B is just to the right, and that is connected by a corridor or a breezeway of some sort here, but the focus of activity here, of course, is going to be on the left-hand side of the screen here. That's going to be Building A. Guys, let me send it back to you. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Thanks, Rich, for clarifying. A little while. How long? What's the plan here? I don't know why it's killed my mic. Here we go. All right. What is that vehicle going facing northbound on right at the intersection? It looks all white. Who's that guy? Some kind of a command post type vehicle, or is that what it says? Okay. Thank you. Not that we have seen over the course of the last several minutes, Mark and Lou. Here we go, looking on the south side of Building A once again here, where the Downey Police Department as well as the LA County Sheriff's Department are staging along Imperial Highway, just a little bit west of Bellflower Boulevard here. So that is kind of the wider shot that we are looking at there. If you see that vehicle kind of facing northbound along Bellflower Boulevard, that white vehicle, that's going to be the LA County Sheriff's bomb squad, and they arrived on scene a short while ago here. Their role in situation, if anything, has been identified. The potential of a threat where they may be needed. Nevertheless, they are here along Bellflower Boulevard, right north of Imperial Highway, should the need arise. But again, this building, Building A, that you are looking at there, it looks to be mostly evacuated at this point. We saw the last group of people come out some maybe 10 to 15 minutes ago here, and that was when our Chip Yost was live, and he was on the ground talking to people as they were kind of walking northbound along Bellflower Boulevard over towards Independence Park. Now, initially, as we were flying down here, they were staging all of the people who were being evacuated from Building A across the street over by Jack in the Box here. And Rich Prickett, our Sky 5 photographer, showing you that Jack in the Box right there. They had actually had to clear that Jack in the Box before making that a staging area there. But shortly thereafter, perhaps half an hour or so, they started walking northbound along Bellflower Boulevard over towards Independence Park, which is just about half a block away. Now, they have set up a staging area over there where the County Fire Department as well as the police department, sheriff's department is on scene over there, and they are basically providing some easy ups, perhaps some refreshments, some snacks if needed here, but that is where the majority of the people are now staging who have come out of Building A. Now, Kaiser Downey is just across the street over on the west side of the boulevard there across Bellflower Boulevard. Let's widen out the shot and kind of show you the campus of Kaiser Downey here where this is all taking place. It's quite a big facility here. The focus of activity here is, of course, going to be on the bottom right of the screen. That's going to be Building A, which is, again, just the northwest corner of Imperial Highway at Bellflower Boulevard here, and that is where we have been for over an hour and a half at this point here, where the call came out just before 12 noon, a report of a possible active shooter here. Now, when we got on scene, the Sheriff's Department was already here, and they were able to tell me that they had taken one person into custody here, and we later learned that that person is a male at this point. Beyond that, we just don't have much information to go on. We certainly hope that that will come out in the coming news conference here. But again, this is all happening Building A over here at Kaiser Downey, where no injuries have been reported. That is certainly some good news here. They are still in the process of clearing Building A floor by floor, room by room. And again, just a few minutes ago, as I mentioned, the last people that we saw coming out of the building here were coming from the third floor through that staircase down to ground level and making their way over to Bellflower Boulevard and then towards Independence Park here. So if we spot anyone else, we will certainly let you know. In the meantime, though, there's a lot of police activity, a lot of Sheriff's Department activity here at the intersection of Bellflower Boulevard. Shut that down. Nothing too big at this time here. For the most part, it's still the middle of the day here, just after lunch here, so we're not seeing too much vehicular traffic here. This particular intersection is Imperial Highway and Bellflower Boulevard. That is going to be shut down for a time. Northbound Bellflower to eastbound Imperial Highway was still open, even while people were coming out of the building here, but they have since shut that down. Generally speaking, the traffic seems to be pretty good here. The closest freeway is going to be about 2 blocks to the south. We can widen out the shot and move to the south here and show you what it looks like along the 105 freeway here. Still a wide open drive in both directions here. The cars coming from right to left, the cars coming at us essentially, that's going to be the westbound side of the 105 freeway. As you leave the 605 freeway, you still can get off on Bellflower Boulevard. You just can't turn north. So northbound Bellflower Boulevard is going to be shut down right here at the 105. So some of the neighboring streets I can see, they are all still wide open. That is certainly some good news here. So in terms of congestion, vehicular traffic, Woodruff Avenue is runs parallel to Bellflower Boulevard over on the east. That is wide open here. Not too much traffic to speak of. If you go to the west, and we don't have to follow along Rich, that's going to be Lakewood Boulevard over on the west side. That runs north and southbound, also wide open. So most of the congestion, if any, is going to be centered right here, Bellflower Boulevard and Imperial Highway. Oh. Yeah. And 5's going to make a left-hand orbit from the south side here. We're going to drop down out of 1700. Okay. Yeah. All right. I do. That's a number one. Consider it done. Okay. Are they still coming out of, okay. Yes, Jen, go ahead. What's up? We have plans to leave at about 2:10, maybe 2:15. But yeah, if it's done within that time frame, absolutely. Okay, Jen. Of where? Okay. Okay. I'd ask Sky 5 on the scrambler. Hey, these people that are coming out, if Chip is able to intercept, one of the questions he might want to ask is if these are building A or building B people. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the people real quick. I think they're crossing the street. Rich, you might have them. I mean, okay. Okay. Jim, I'm going to stay in front of you here. I've got a left-hand orbit here. I've got you. Uh, let's go to the park real quick. Let's go to the park real quick since we're on this side. It's hard to tell if beyond this, if they're, beyond this, if they're free to go. But obviously, I mean, a lot of their vehicles are going to be in that parking structure, so it's just hard to know. It looks like mostly they're just kind of hanging loose right here. No problem. Whatever you need, I've got you. Okay, 1 minute. We copy. Real uh, real quick, Rich, can you move to the right? I just want to show you something just in case we need it. Um, all the way across the hospital, just come straight across. There's a park. Come straight to the right. Straight to the right. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. That park, Sheriff's Air 5, is right there, just in case we need that shot. And there, oh, you know what? Real quick, show me this. What's going on at the corner building to the top, to the center, to the right? That intersection, that corner. What's going on there? Anything? Okay. All right. Feel free to move if you need. Okay. Thanks, Rich. Sorry to do that to you. No problem. I've got you. Yeah, absolutely. Sky 5 HD first overhead, second only to the LA County Sheriff's Department helicopter that was already here when we got here. And based on his information, we came to the understanding that this was one person suspect at this point, at that time at any rate, who was already in custody here now. This call came out again just before 12 o'clock this afternoon, a report of a possible active shooter, and that's the information that they were able to give us. Still no confirmation of any actual shots that were fired. But we have learned that there is confirmation now that no injuries are reported. That is certainly some good news. Over the past hour and a half, we have seen many dozens of people come out of the building here, the Kaiser Downey Building A, and make their way across the street, initially over towards the Jack in the Box, and now they have set up a staging area here at Independence Park just on the north side of the tennis courts, and that is where it appears that mostly staff and perhaps some patients, administrative staff, doctors, nurses, things of that, people of that nature here, have convened here just on the north side of Independence Park, right by the tennis courts, and they are under some easy ups, and it looks like the Downey Fire Department is on scene here and providing some drinks and some snacks as needed here. But again, that is where they are staging all of the people who have filed out of Building A at the Kaiser Downey facility here. Now, this is going to be right along Bellflower Boulevard, just a little bit north of Imperial Highway. And again, this has been going on for nearly an hour, or nearly 2 hours at this point here. And again, a report of possible shots fired here. A big response from the Downey Police Department, as well as the LA County Sheriff's Department, as well as the fire department, should the need arise for any injuries or anything like that. But again, that is the complex. That is the facility right here. Kaiser Downey Building A over in the top left corner right near the intersection, and that is where they are still working to clear that building room by room, floor by floor. And just a few minutes ago we did see some people coming down again from the third floor, making their way over towards Independence Park. Hopefully they will be able to clear Building A shortly. Guys, let me send it back down to you. What do you need, Rich? Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Paul, we're not going to move straight south off your nose. I have you. Um, okay. Oh, you heard it. Right there. What's the body language there? You know, by the car? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. Kind of a relaxed posture, huh? What are you hearing? Okay. Thank you, Rich. Ooh. Did they say they're going to break down the containment? Okay, fair enough. Okay, up again. Thank you. Okay. We are on, guys. All right. Yes, I am, and good afternoon again. Here we go, and we are on the south side of the facility here along Imperial Highway, where just moments ago, my apologies for that, just moments ago we were listening to some of the channels here, and we understand that they may be in the process of starting to break down some of the containment here on the south side, and they will begin the debriefing process with the Downey Police Department here, and we are, of course, talking about the LA County Sheriff's Department, as well as the Downey Police Department here at the intersection of Imperial Highway and Bellflower Boulevard here. So again, we might start seeing some movement here in terms of some of these vehicles that might be clearing the intersection over the course of the next several minutes here. But that is certainly some good news here in terms of them in the process of clearing the building. It appears that they have cleared the majority of the building, if not all of the building at this point. And so we are starting to see actually some movement along Imperial Highway, where some of the vehicles are now moving westbound here. So that is certainly some good news. It tells us that it looks like they are now beginning the process of clearing this containment. So that is some good news here. None better than the fact that no injuries were reported here. This after a report of a potential active shooter that came out just a little over 2 hours ago here at the Kaiser Downey facility. This was all centered around this particular building that Rich Prickett, our Sky 5 photographer, is showing you right there, Building A, which is just on the northwest corner of Imperial Highway and Bellflower Boulevard again. A quick response by the Downey Police Department as well as the LA County Sheriff's Department. They were able to detain a suspect within several minutes after the incident started here. So again, with no confirmation that shots were actually fired, we do understand that there were no injuries, and that is going to be an important thing here. If we widen out the shot just a touch, Rich, and move over to the left, in other words to the west, we can see a lot of the vehicles are already moving out of place here. They are going to be moving a couple of blocks away over to the staging area where they are going to begin the process of debriefing this particular incident here. Some of the vehicles are now moving away from the intersection of Bellflower Boulevard and Imperial Highway. So that is a good sign that tells us that it appears that this situation has been deemed safe as some of the police vehicles start moving out of the area here. Guys, let me send it back to you. Yeah. They're really starting to move out of the intersection. That's good. Stay where you are. Do what you're doing. You're good, Rich. You are good. The Columbia Memorial Space Center. All right, be safe. We will see you. Okay, let's move off these guys. These guys are relaxed. They're just, maybe go to the intersection. Maybe go to the intersection. Yeah, I believe. Hey there, 5 is right over the freeway here. We're going to be northbound Lakewood Boulevard here, right heading over towards Rockwell Downey. Okay, I'll stay just inside you there, and I'll tighten it up. Tighten it up. Columbia Memorial Space Center. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to hold up on the east side here, but yeah. I don't. You trying to figure out where they're actually? Yeah, no, they're gone, mostly, if not all. If not all. Are they? Let, let's look at it. Okay. Okay. Let's move it. Hey, Desk, Sky 5 on the Scrambler. Without being too obvious about it, we're going to show you something that may be of interest to you, and certainly to Chip since he's really close to it. Okay, here you go. Yes, and that, well, at least from where Chip was, it'd be straight across the street. Uh, um, yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Jen. Yes, ma'am. We will hold off as long as we can. It's not going to be too much, but yeah, we'll do what we can. If worst comes to worst, we'll just do it, you know. Okay, brother. Thank you. Okay, let's fade away and, okay. Let's go find that thing. Okay, just in time, too. Here you go. Yeah, you called, and we were kind of trying to make heads or tails of it, but good call, Jen. Yeah, this looks pretty interesting. We'll just kind of close it out here, then we'll head back to the barn. Okay. I do have you there, brother. We're going to be northbound and clearing. Bright and early. I believe so. I'm not too schooled on those, but yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it is. Beautiful. Nice job, Rich. Oh, dude. Yeah. By the time all is said and done, yeah.